नमामि शंकराचार्य गुरुपाद सरोरुहं यस्य प्रसादान् मूढोऽपि सर्वज्ञोऽहं सदा भवम् कामाक्षी करुणारूपं कामकोटि जगद्गुरुं चिन्मूर्तिं कलये चित्ते शंकराचार्यमप्ययम् भक्ताग्रगिरि सम्भूता शंकरार्णवगामिनी पुनातु भुवनं पुण्या श्रीगुरोश्चरितापगा वेद वेदांत साम्राज्य धर्म कामार्थ मोक्षदं विद्यारण्यं नमः पुण्यं यो विद्यारण्यमत्यनतु सदाशिवश्री ब्रह्मेन्द्र धृत स्वपद पादुकान् धीरान् परशुवेन्द्रार्यान् ध्यायामि सततं हृदि अपार करुणा सिंधुं ज्ञानदं शरद्रूपिणं श्री चंद्रशेखर गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्महं देवे देहे च देशे च भक्तारोग्य सुखप्रदम् उथ पामर सेव्यन्तं श्री जयेन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् नमामि शंकरान्वाख्य विजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्री गुरुं शिष्टमार्गानु नेतारं सन्निधिकृतम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. In this special year in which the 2500th Aradhana of Shri Shankara Bhagavatpāda was completed, and starting on the auspicious occasion of Ashada Shukla Ekadashi Bhuthanuradha Punyakala, on which our Shri Kanchikāmakoti Mūlamnaya Sarvagya Pīఠాధిపతి Jagadguru Shri Shankara Vijayam Saraswati Shankaracharya Swami completed his Rameshwara Tirtha Yatra by himself performing Abhisheka to Ramanatha Swami, with the prarthana of doing the Anusandhana of the original Shankara Charitra text. We have started this prayatna, and currently we are examining the Anandagiriya Shankara Vijaya. We are in the 18th session, and we are examining the 21st prakarana of this grantha, which was composed by one Anandagiri, a direct disciple of Bhagavatpāda, and in which, in the earlier prakaranas, he has been describing the discussions that Bhagavatpāda had with the proponents of the various matas, Vaishnava Mata, Shaiva Mata, and so on, and especially the Bhavani Mata and Lakshmi Mata. So these are all various kinds of the Shakti Upasana, and right now in this Prakarana, the 21st Prakarana, the proponents of the Saraswati Mata or Sharada Mata, Sharada means Saraswati, and they come and discuss with Bhagavatpāda, is what being described here in this Prakarana. Evam niragriteshu Durga Lakshmi Mata Siddhanteshu Punaranye Sharadopasakaha Pustakapuntraha Kamalapanayaha Pratyavatishtanti. So the Upasakas of Sharada, they come, they have heard that Bhagavatpāda has supposedly refuted Durga or Bhavani Mata and Lakshmi Mata, and they have come to speak with Bhagavatpāda, and they are wearing the symbol of a pustaka, because it is the symbol of Saraswati, and they are also bearing white lotuses in their hand, because it is Pritikara to Saraswati. And te gila nigamaha savitraha paragamaha suvak avyaktaha sarvabak ityadayaha. So these are upasakas, Saraswati upasakas. Their names are related to the Shabda Vangmaya. Nigama means Veda and so on. And they come to speak with Bhagavatpāda. Paramagurum idam uchuhu swaminne vichitra veshadharitvam sampadya Durga Kamala Bhaktan matabhrashtan krutva sarvagya vartase. So they are quite angry. They say, you have worn this special garb of sannyasi, and because of that you have caused the upasakas of Bhavani and Mahalakshmi to be to abstain from their matas, and you think yourself you are as omniscient. Vidyana Sharada Bhaktan Nigamadin. We are all upasakas of Sharada, our Saraswati. Asman Matam Nigama Siddham. Our mata is based on the Veda itself. Vedanam Tadrupatva, because Veda is the form of Saraswati and the Vedas are Nitya Shashvata. Vedanam Nityatva Prapto Tadrupaya Sharadaya Nityatvam Astivanava Iti Sandeha Bhava. So when we accept that the Vedas are Nitya, and Sharada Devi, Vagdevi, Saraswati is of the form of Veda, there is no doubt that whether Saraswati is also Nitya or not. So, because she is the Shashvata and she is the creator of the world, Saiva Jagat Kartri, Nitya Vak Vedaha. So, how do we know that Veda is Nitya Vak? Because the Veda itself says that Vacha Virupa Nityaya. So, Because of that, we understand that Saraswati is the only Shashvata Tattva, and so she is the creator of the world. Ataha paratara Sharada Jagadutpadana Karanam. So she is the Mola Karana of the whole world. Ya Nityaprabha Jagallaye Asti Saivavak Sad Brahmatma Shiva Narayana Shabdavachya Gunatita Vrittihi Tadwara Parabrahmad Utpattihi Tadwara Jagadutpattihi Viruddham. So just like in the earlier Prakranas of Bhavani Mata and Lakshmi Mata, there in each Prakrana, when it was Bhavani, she was presented as the Shakti of Maheshwara and Mahalakshmi as the Shakti of Vishnu. And here Saraswati is the Shakti of Brahma. And she is the permanent effulgence or the shine, the Artha Prakasha. Even during the time of Jagat Pralaya, that Vak, the Veda Rupa Vak from which the world was created, and later on she was the one, she was the form of that Sad Brahma, and later on she became Shiva, Narayana, and so on. But she was actually originally Gunatita Vritti. She was beyond the Trigunas. And from her only Brahma and others were created, and from them Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and so on. From them, the Prapancha was created. So there is no problem here, as per their opinion. Ataha sarvair mumukshubhihi saiva nirantaram upasaniya. So whoever desires moksha should do upasana of that Saraswati only. Ataha bhavantopi vritha ashajalam paritijya. So you seem to have some unnecessary desires. What desire do they accuse Bhagavatpāda of? Is to cause the other mata badis to be bhrashta from their mata. This is not the desire of Bhagavatpāda, but this is what they think. This unnecessary desire, you should discard this. And pustakadibhis chinnhitaha. So you should also wear the symbol of pustaka and so on. Vagupasanam Gurudham. You do upasana of Vag. Vagrupa jnanenaiva mukta bhavatha. So in the earlier prakaras, we were saying how Bhagavatpāda is assuring the upasakas that by attaining Advaita Vidya, you will attain moksha. Here, the upasakas of Saraswati are so confident and they are assuring Bhagavatpāda that he will attain moksha by doing the upasana of Vak. And they also go on to show that the Veda itself says that the one who does not know the Vedartha will not understand the supreme form of that Vak, Parama Vak. Avedarthavid Purushaha tam Paramam Vagrupam Naveda. That Brihantam, that Brihad Tattva, Brahma Tattva, one does not realize without knowing that Vak. Ataha Sab Brahmadi Shabdavachyatvam Param Vagrupam Samyak Vetta Purusha Muktaha. He who properly understands the nature of that Param Vagrupam, the true form of that Vak, Saraswati, and that is what is called by the words Sat and Brahma and so on in the Vedas. And only the one who realizes the true form will attain moksha. So whatever the Shruti Vakyas which say that Shadangaha Vedaha Adhyetavyaha, you should learn the Shadanga Veda and you should hear Shrotavya Vantavyaha, one should do Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. And of what can one do Shravana? Only the Shabdarupa Upadesha Veda, for that we can do Shravana. And then based on that we can do Manana, think of the meaning and meditate on the meaning, Nididhyasana. And all these Shruti Vakyas are pointing to the Upasana of Vak only, is his opinion. Ataha Sarvada Nishchayena Vagrupa Anusandhanam Kuruta. So is the advice of given by the Sharada Upasakas to Bhagavatpāda. Evam Prapte Srimandhir Acharya Ridamuchate. So the reply of Acharya is described further. Here some explanation is needed. I have previously pointed out that Bhagavatpāda, just in the earlier prakarana, I pointed out that Bhagavatpāda often is content with presenting the counterpoint. So this is the Paddhati of Advaita Vedanta. Because as far as Advaita Vedanta is concerned, the only real Paramarthika truth is that Brahma Satyam Sarvam Brahmamaya. So whatever other opinions are mutually conflicting, which are all there in the Vyavaharika Dasha. For example, in the Shastra, there is a great debate where there is one Satkaryavada or of the Sankhya's and the Asat Karyavadas of the Nayayikas. I'm not going into the details. And such debates, even in the Paddhati of Bhagavatpada's Purvacharyas also, they point out that these are mutually conflicting. So that is what is called a Sat Pratipaksha in Tarka Shastra itself. See, for example, and that is one important aspect for as far as the upcoming discussion is concerned. The Buddhas, for another example, they say that the external world itself does not exist. And they talk about what is called the Vijnana, and they say that Vijnana is the truth. And later on, but they do not, that Vijnana is not the same as our Siddhanta Chaitanya, what we call Chaitanya in Advaita Vedanta. So, if we see Brahma Sutra, sometimes it may seem to be conflicting or not correct to do this. But the thing is that our Paramasiddhanta is what we need to reach, and there are multiple ways to reach that Paramasiddhanta. If we see Brahma Sutra Bhashya or Brahma Sutras, there, first of all, this Bauddha Siddhanta of the refutation, because the Buddhas say that there is no external vastu. That opinion is refuted based on the Astika Darshanas of Sankhya, Nayayika, etc. And on top of that, whatever is faulty with the Sankhya, Vaisheshika, and so on, other darshanas, that is refuted and the Paramasiddhanta is established. However, in the Mandukya Karikas, if we see, the approach is the other way. Through the Bauddha Darshana, these Vyavaharika Karya Utpatti Vadas are refuted, and that Vijnanavada is refuted to establish the Paramasiddhanta. So, because our Tatparya is there in the goal, and these are merely various methodologies to arrive at that goal. And likewise, for the present discussion, this, what I mentioned as Satpratipaksha earlier, whether Shabda is Nitya or Anitya is a big topic of discussion. Shabda, first of all, we should consider what we mean by the word Shabda, by the Shabda. See, if I am talking about, I say the Soma, one person by name Somu, he is such and such a person, he is not nice, and so on and so on. Somebody else say, that he is a very nice person, how come you are calling him by such words? But first of all, we have to verify whether both of us are talking about the same person, Somo. I am talking about some Somo and you are talking about another Somo, then there is no point in, there is no conflict at all between my opinion and your opinion. So we have to clarify what is exactly meant by the Shabda. Whatever, see, when I am doing this pravachana and you are all hearing it, these parts in this mouth and other parts of the body, they are, there is a sanyoga, there is a contact between them, and they are getting separated, viyoga, and all this is coming together to create sound. And obviously, this sound, this Shabda, is being created by the effort of the various parts of the mouth. And so, because it is created, it is Anitya also. There is no doubt about it. But when I say, I am the Adhyapaka is saying one shloka and the Shishya is saying the same shloka. By what do we mean by saying that the Shishya is saying the same shloka? Because obviously the prayatna of the Adhyapaka is separate and the prayatna of the Shishya is separate. So the separate prayatnas have to create separate shabdas. But we do say that they are the same shloka. So the reply to this is that there is another Sukshma Shabda which is indicated or which is getting manifested by these sthula prayatnas, these physical prayatnas, efforts. The Sukshma Shabda is getting manifested, and the Sukshma Shabda is the same whether I pronounce it or you pronounce it or anybody else pronounces it. So that Sukshma Shabda is common and there is no difference. That does not get created or destroyed. It is only getting manifested by all these physical prayatnas. And this is something that is very important to the Mimamsakas. So the Mimamsakas are very insistent on establishing the Shabda Nityatva because they want to establish that the Vedas are Shashvata. Because their paddhati is that only if the Vedas are Shashwata can they be the Parama Pramana. They were not created by anybody and they are permanent. So they are capable of being a Pramana for Brahma Tattva and Dharma Tattva. So for that, Mimamsakas are insistent on proving that Shabda is Nitya. But Tarkikas are more lenient, they lean towards the physical sciences, so they say that Shabda is Anitya. So there are huge discussions on between the Mimamsakas and Tarkikas whether Shabda is Nitya or Anitya. So here, the Satpratipaksha in Tarkashastra itself, it said that Shabdaha Nityaha, Shabdaha Anityaha Kritakatva. So because Shabda is created, it is Anitya. Satpratipaksha means that which has a counterpoint. So I say that Shabda is not permanent, impermanent because it is created. The counterpoint to this is Shabdaha Nityaha Srotrendriya Grahyatva. So there is some prakriya which I am not going into, by which it is proved that Shabda, or it is contested that Shabda has to be permanent, Shashwata, because it is heard by the ear. The yuktis of that are to be seen in the Tarkashastra Granthas. I am not going into it. But the point is that this Paraspara conflict, as far as the Advaita Siddhanti is concerned, this is not at all a real matter because this is all about the Vyavahara Dasha only. Sat Pratipaksha, the counter, because the counterpoint exists, as far as the Advaiti is concerned, these refute each other. And in my Parama Siddhanta, Shabda itself is not there. So why should I be worried about whether Shabda is Nitya or Anitya? But in the process of doing the Nirakarana, in the Brahma Sutras itself, the Shabda Nityatva Vada is used. There, that Vada is being put forth, and the Shabda Anityatva Vada is getting refuted. And later on, again, beyond that, one goes to the Paramatattva. After, beyond the Mimamsaka Siddhanta of establishing the Veda Pramandya, the Parama Siddhanta is established beyond that. But of course, there is the other way. One could refute the Shabda Nityatva Vada using the Anityatva Vada, and then on top of that, one can go to the Paramartha Tattva, and that is the path that is taken up here. So, this is the prakriya here. So, as I have mentioned earlier, Bhagavatpāda is presenting the counterpoint. So, what Bhagavatpāda says, you say that Veda is Nitya. But if Veda is only when you are able to establish that Veda is Nitya, you can say that Vak is also Nitya. Vak Devata is none other than the Veda, so she is also Nitya Shashwat. But Veda is of the form of, it is being pronounced. Kantha thalu osthadi sangama sanjata shantarupa vadaha katham nityata shakya sampadayitum. So how can you say that? How can you insist that Shabda is Nitya because it is being produced? Now, we should note this, that by the word Shabda, he has taken the physical manifestation. And that physical manifestation is, obviously, it is Anitya. But, so that physical manifestation is created by the prayatnas, efforts in the throat, in the upper palate and the lips and so on. And because of that, it is Sanjata, it is created. So it cannot be Nitya. But as far as the Mimamsaka is concerned, the Veda which we study today, it is the same Veda which was there in the previous creation. It is necessary and it is very important for the Mimamsaka. So he has insisted on the Nityatva Vada. And but here the counterpoint is presented. So Acharya says, Veda Pravanchasya Vagdrupasya Sadadi Shabdavachyatvam Kathamuktam Bhavata. So how can you say that this is actually not Shashwat? Because of these, it is being created by the efforts. How can you say that this is known by the word Sat? Because what is a real Sat, which is really absolutely permanent? But these are not permanent. Okay. So, of course, later on, it is going to be shown in the Paramasiddhanta, Yatra Vedaha, Vedaha Bhavanti, beyond the Vedas. even though in the Vyavaharika Dasha, we have to, as per the Mimamsaka Siddhanta, for establishing the Pramanya of the Vedas, we have to accept that the Vedas are permanent in the Vyavahara Dasha. More details will be upcoming. But this one point we should not forget, that in the state of realization of that Atma Jnana, when Sarvam Brahmamayam, so what Shabdas can be there? Even the Vedas are not there separately in that state. So thinking of that state, Acharya says that all Shabda that is created is impermanent. Then Acharya goes on to ask, Kincha Varnamatrasya Nityatvam Va Varna Santaterva. So are you saying that each individual sound is Nitya? Those who are insisting upon the Nityatva of Varnas, Shabdas, are you saying that each individual sound is Nitya? Nadyaha. So this is not acceptable, because as mentioned earlier, Utpanno Gakaraha, Nashto Gakara Ityadi Pratitehe, Varnamatrasya Nityatvat. So it is only, we see that this sound was produced and it is no longer being heard and so on. So it is Anitya, obviously. But of course, we say that the same shloka which the teacher is saying, the student is also saying, Soyangakara Ityadi Pratitastu, Sayan Deepadjwala Ityadivatu, Sadrishyavalamban. So it is saying that the same verse which is pronounced by the teacher is also pronounced by the student is based only on the similarity. So this is the yukti to do khandana of the varna nityatva. So the individual sounds are being created and destroyed. So you cannot say that that shabda is nitya. Then if you say varna santati, that continuity, that sequence of sounds is what I am saying as nitya, that also cannot be accepted. So here now this comes to the Mimamsaka Siddhanta, because the Mimamsaka says that if the Veda is permanent and the same Veda is being continued in the further creations, then the same Shetva or Jetva or whatever other Veda mantras are were there in the previous Srishti are there in this Srishti also. But this is also not true from the Paramarthika Dasha. In the Vyavaharika Dasha, this has to be accepted. But from the Paramarthika Dasha, this cannot be accepted, because Tadvitiyaha yasya nishwasitam Veda iti janyatva darshana. So because the Vedas are said to be the breath of the Paramatma. So breath is something that is created. Yad janyam tad anityam iti pramanatvena Pramanena, Anityatva Avagatehe, whatever is created has to be Anitya. How can we say that Veda is Nitya? Because it is Shwasa, and Shwasa, it comes out, it has to go back in. And even though you have quoted those verses, that Veda passage which says that Vacha, Vak is Nitya, and like earlier Prakarana, we have pointed out that even the Veda passage which is saying that Swarga is Amrita, that is only relative to the current human existence. Swarga is much longer lived. Likewise, the Veda Shashvatatva is only with reference to the Vyavaharika Satta. It is not with reference to the Paramarthika Satta. It apekshikam nityatvam pratibadeti na atyantikam. Shadanga parishobhitasya Veda Rashehe Mahayugante Pralaya Darshanat. So at the end of the Mahayuga, where at the end of 1,000 years of Brahma, as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita and so on, the Veda, the Pralaya of the Veda will happen. Tad anupravritta Mahayuge, Surya Kila. So again, in Surya Siddhanta, that granthas which are describing Surya as the greatest Devata, those granthas say that Surya Kila Kala Yugadi Karta Maharshibhyo Yachastram Braha Tadeva Vedadikam. So at the beginning, Surya is the creator of time, and he is the creator of the yugas and so on. He, at the beginning of Srishti, he teaches the Shastra to the Maharshis, and that is the Veda, is what it is said. Yuge Yuge Maharshidam Swayameva Vivasvata and so on. Ataha Prati Yuga Pralaya Sampatti Shrutehe Shaktehe Saraswatyaha Katham Shakyam Nityata Rachayitum. So, because this Veda is of the form of the breath of Paramatma, and at the end of each Srishti, when the Pralaya happens, it goes back inside. The Sampatti, the word means going back inside. And because of this, we have to say that whatever is created is already destroyed, in the sense it goes back. It is no longer existing in the manifest form. So we cannot say that the Saraswati, who is of the form, if she is of the form of the manifest Vedas, we cannot say that she is Shashvata. because she goes back into the Mula Paramatma Swarupa. Vedanam Anityatvepi. So this then the other Vadi, he tries another yukti. He says Vedanam Anityatve. So okay, the Vedas are not permanent. If even though you may say like that, Brahmano Vaktrasthayaha Saraswatyaha Nityatvam Tadvara Jagat Srishti Tasyaha Brahmashaktitvamiti Yadujcheta Nahi Tadapi Ramaniyam. So see, look, it is not appropriate to speak in a self-conflicting manner. Only superficially it seems as if you are speaking meaningfully, but if we examine properly, it is very clear that you are not speaking meaningfully. You say that Vedas are not Shashvata, but you say that the Veda, the Saraswati, who is in the mouth of Brahma, if she is Shashvata, and through that the Prapancha was created and so on, and she is the Shakti of Brahma. Are you please tell me, earlier you said that Saraswati is the Mula Prakriti, from her only everything was created. Now you are saying that Brahma was there, and from the mouth of Brahma, the Saraswati in the mouth of Brahma is permanent. How is this correct? So Chaturmukhasya Prathama, because Chaturmukha Brahma, he is said to be Savai Shariri Prathamaha. He was the first Jiva to be created, as per what you have yourself said earlier. Chaturmukhasya Prathama Jivasya Anityatve Tachakter Anityatvam Astivanava iti Sandeha Bhava. So there can be no doubt that the Shakti of whoever is being created, that Shakti is also Anitya. Parabrahma Shakti Parama Prakriti. Okay, then he is going to the earlier Siddhanta, the Ishvara Prakriti. It is not Chaturmukha Brahma. Saraswati now refers to the Ishvara Shakti. Parabrahma Shakti Paraprakriti Mahadadi Tattva Saraswati iti yadi uchcheta nahi tadapi samanjasam. So Ishvara Vyatiriktasya Sarvasyapi Pralaya Darshanat. Even that is not appropriate. Whatever is other than that Paramatma, everything will attain Pralaya. Only that Paramatma can be Shashvata. True. Because the Veda says, Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasa Saha. So that Paramatma is beyond Vak and Manas. And that Paramatma is the only one who is suitable to be called by the words Sat and Brahma and so on, and not this Prakriti, Saraswati. Ataha Sakta Nigama, O Nigama, with all your Shishya Saraswati Upasaka Samudaya. Sarva Shabda Vachasya. So who is the real import of all the words, all the Veda Shabdas? As it is said, Sarve Veda Yatpadam Avananti Tad Vrityatitasya Paramatmanaha. The Paramatma who is beyond the Vak and Manas, that Paramatma should be realized. Tasya Samyajnane Neva Muktiha Anyatha Nahyeva, not otherwise. Adaha Shuddha Advaita Vittima Ashritya Sanadi Satkarma Guruvan Panchapuja Parayanaha Tvam Karma Phalam Brahmarpanamiti Kritva. So you should take up Shuddha Advaita Anusandhara, do Snana, the Satkarma Anushtanas, do Upasana of all Devatas without Taratamya, without thinking of one as higher or lower, and all the Karma Anushtana Phalas, do Brahmarpana of that, Iti Anushtite Satkarmani, Adeka Durita Kshekarane. Doing all this Anushtana is the cause of all your papas to be expiated, all your sins and karmas to be expiated. Jnana Pravritto Jatayam, by the arrival of the Vrityatmaka Jnana, as mentioned earlier, Linga Sharira Bhangadwara, that Sukshma Sharira will get dissolved. Mukto Bhavasi. It is Samyak Upadishtaha Nigamaha. Acharya shows through this you will get moksha, and through the Upadesha Nigamaha Sukiyai Shishya Saha Kritarthohamiti Paramagurum Acharya Swaminanatva Shuddha Advaita Vritya Shritaha Abhavat. So this Nigama and the other Saraswati Sharada Upasakas, they also realized that they were fortunate enough to get this Upadesha from Bhagavatpāda. So they did Namaskara to Bhagavatpāda and took up the Shuddha Advaita Vidya. Anandagiri Gratau Prakaranam Ekavimsham. Thus is completed the Ekavimshitama Prakarana of this Anandagiriya Shankara Vijayam, and by Guru Kripa in further sessions we shall examine the further Prakaranas also. Sarva Vyapaka Chaitanya Rupena Adyapi Tishthavi Seva Shankaracharyo Gurur Mukti Pradasatam. Jai Jai Shankara. Hara Hara Shankara.